and welcome to the Africanovate virtual talk series. And in this session, we will be talking about innovation and technology for youth empowerment. So let's get right into it. Quickly, let me introduce myself. My name is Elvis Nosakhare. I am an IT expert and also a digital entrepreneur. And I believe that impossibility is an illusion. So let's get right into it. So in this session, we are going to be having 5 modules. The first module will be looking at what innovation is. We're having a few definitions and also looking at the types of innovation. In module 2, we'll be talking about technology and innovation, where we'll also, of course, be defining some terms and looking at the benefits of technology and innovation and 8 best examples of technology and innovation. And also, we'll be comparing and contrasting innovation and technology. Then in module 3, we'll be looking at youth, innovation, and technology, where we look at youths as innovators, look at the socioeconomic and cultural impact of youths as innovators, and finally, youths as drivers of technology. Then in module 4, we're looking at youth empowerment, where we'll dive into technology and the African youths. We'll look at the COVID-19 technology revolution. Also look at some key African metrics. I also look at the reports by the World Bank on Africa and technology. Then finally, we would look at technology empowerment initiatives. Then in module 5, we would look at African pace setters. We look at African pace setters in tech. We look at the ripple effects of innovation and technology on the youths. Then finally, we'll look at empowerment as a collective responsibility. All right, so let's go into module 1. So what exactly is innovation? Innovation is simply the introduction of something new or the execution of a new idea, process, or method. Now, there are different types of innovation. We have the incremental innovation, we have the adjacent innovation, we have the disruptive innovation, then we also have the radical innovation. So the incremental innovation is simply known also as continuous improvement, which refers to improving an existing product or service. And it is effective when addressing transformational issues within an existing structure. So it's just more or less like saying gradually changing how things work, not completely changing the whole process or bringing up a new one. So it's incremental. So you modify the process as you go. Then also adjacent innovation talks about, of course, reaching out to like a new audience or breaking into a new market by utilizing resources that are already available, such as technology or even knowledge. And this gives rather the original goods or service a competitive edge that makes it possible for it to stand out in the marketplace. For example, startup scouting and takeovers. Now, a very good example was when Facebook took over WhatsApp and also when Facebook took over Instagram. I'm sure you guys can remember that. So that's an adjacent kind of innovation. Then also we have disruptive innovation that describes the steps that smaller businesses take to upend an industry by focusing on the underserved markets of its larger established competitors. So small businesses look at those areas that the larger guys, the big shots in the game, are not currently serving. They serve those markets and they cause a kind of disruption, in the market. So disruptive innovation, the disruptive innovation party will gain momentum and eventually begin to dominate the primary market niches. So that's what happens. So disruptive innovation is what happens when the primary segment adopts new innovation. Then finally, we have radical innovation. And this is simply the invention of a completely new good or service that no one saw coming and that has a tendency to impose itself on users' lives. All right. Then 2 common instances of that are radical inventions like the television and the smartphone. Of course, you would agree with me that these were completely radical innovations when they came into the market. Great. So lastly, in module 1, I want to quickly say that innovation is disruption. No matter how you see it, innovation, because of the fact that it always moves from status quo to a new way of doing things, it means that something along the line is being disrupted. Great. Now, welcome to module 2, where we are going to look at technology and innovation. Now, technology, of course, as defined by some, is the application of scientific knowledge to the goals of everyday life, or more colloquially, to the modification and manipulation of the human environment. So when there is a constant change, in processes, right, in activities, in mode of operations, right? So most times, technology and innovation more or less go hand in hand. However, there can be no innovation or significant innovation if there is no technology. That is, if the methods, the scientific methods with which that new thing is to be done, if it is not available. That's why sometimes you have ideas, you think and say, oh, I would like to do this, but the medium or the tool to achieve it is currently unavailable. Right. So technology innovation is characterized simply by the development and utilization of novel and enhanced technologies, instruments, frameworks, and procedures that result in noteworthy progressions. Take note, noteworthy progressions or discoveries across diverse domains. And it entails utilizing resources, knowledge, and experience to create creative solutions that address issues, boost productivity, advance the cause, and also add value. So innovation is all about improving something, improving lives, and especially when it has to do with technology. Now, when it comes to technology innovation, there are several areas that technology innovation has touched as far as our lives as humans are concerned. So we have economic growth and competitiveness. We have enhanced efficiency and productivity, improved quality of life, of course. Also, addressing societal challenges, scientific and technological advancements. We see that a lot in things like space travel or space exploration. We see that in medicine. We see that also even in automobiles, right? Then also user empowerment and engagement. That is where social media and the internet really comes in. Then finally, sustainable development. That is why you see a lot of huge economies rather in the world are pushing seriously for technological advancement because it puts them at the forefront of global innovation and gives them global relevance. Okay. Then also there are eight best examples of technology innovation, and one of them is the World Wide Web. That's the internet where you do your browsing and all that stuff. We have mobile technology and smartphones. We have cloud computing, artificial intelligence. In fact, that has become a really big stuff right now. People are using that to make money. Others are using it to advance themselves in their careers, and even right now, there is already a technology coming up to integrate, technology with the human genome, right? Then also we have 3D printing, we have renewable energy technologies. In terms of 3D printing, a lot can be printed right now with 3D technology. I saw a video the other day where even meat was printed with 3D technology. It's a very powerful one. Then also biotechnology and genetic engineering. Then finally, we have the Internet of Things where, remotely you can do stuff as long as devices or whatever it is that you have on, are interconnected. Then also let us contrast and compare technology versus innovation. Now, most times people mistake both for each other. Now, technology is simply a tool for human creativity. So that tool that is used to enhance that process is the technology, right? However, innovation is now the application of that technology to improve an existing procedure, okay? Or to even come up with a completely new uh, or a novel procedure. So a product or service gets easier to use when it is enhanced, of course. The basis for innovative thinking is technology. Now, think about it. The device you're holding in your hand right now wasn't the same as the one you probably used 5 or 10 years ago, or even when the whole mobile technology was, deployed into the system. Great. Now, welcome to Module 3, where we'll be looking at youths, innovation, and technology. And here's an amazing statement by Satyarthi, and it says that the power of youth is the commonwealth for the entire world, and that the faces of young people are the faces of our past, of our present, and also of our future. No segment in society can match with the power, idealism, enthusiasm, and courage of the young people. That's a fact. The young people are the lifeblood of society. Great. Now, youths can be seen as innovators in different ways, right? And the first one is that generally youths are culture shifters because they play an important role in shaping our society, right? And they are the ones that provide much needed insights about what works and what might not work for a particular community. As such, their ideas, words, and influence and words can influence peers, adults, and even policy decisions, even in government. Yeah. Then also, youth as innovators are agents of change because they always bring fresh perspectives to the table, and they often question societal norms and push for change in areas such as social justice, environmental protection, human rights, and their idealism and willingness to change entrenched systems that are not working, are critical for addressing pressing issues. Then also, youths are entrepreneurs because they are the future of the economy, right? And they contribute to the economy by job creation, increasing productivity, utilizing rural resources, and implementing novel innovations. Youths are thinkers, and entrepreneurs are thinkers, and doers also. Now, youths also, as advocates, this cannot be overemphasized because youth advocacy is very important because it creates a more responsible society. It can also be used to raise awareness about what is best for young people and help them find the information they need to make better decisions at a time when their opinions are still forming. Then also, youths are leaders, right? And the youth leadership opportunity allows you to grow in a positive environment that promotes their personal growth, right? Increase in opportunities given to youth allows them also to become more active in the community and in extracurricular activities, and while creating lifelong skills, right? So when youths are given opportunity to express themselves, they grow into leaders. And leadership rather is also part of experiential training. Then finally, youths are social disruptors because they are often seen at the forefront of challenging social status quo and raising conversations that may not necessarily be comfortable for the older generation. So they set new trends and habits that completely changes society as we know it. Now, there's a socioeconomic and cultural impact of youths as innovators. And one of them is that, for example, in the music and film industries, there are radical and disruptive innovations by young people, and they are seen in quotes as outlaw users because they do things like illegal file sharing and have practically forced major changes in industries, products, and business models because they identify loopholes most times, and it causes that industry to brace up. And also, young people have developed technological processes, including languages for text messaging, online etiquette, and new online social networks. We see that coming up every single day. Now, young people also have gained new rights through innovative civic activism, including a greater say in the running of many schools. And also, public bodies are also increasingly recognizing the role of young people as users and service designers, right? Then also, young people are technology drivers. We cannot take this out of the equation. Young people are the drivers of technology. So they have a critical role to define the future with the unique advantages of growing up under ubiquitous influence of digital technologies. Because in fact, we talk a lot about the Gen Zs, we talk about the millennials, the Gen X, and all that. These guys, were practically born into technology. So these young people are seen as digital natives, and they are at the forefront of digital innovations, and they have the spirit to make things happen. And what makes that really work is because these young people have very high level of awareness, right? They have a strong and very high level of acceptance when it comes to new technology. And also, because of their inquisitive, curious mindsets and nature, they have very high exploratory affinity, right? So young people are practically the drivers of technology. Now, for you guys that are watching right now, you would agree with me that most of your parents, you're the ones showing them how to even press remote on TV or do certain things in the house. Yeah, of course, some of us have parents that are aware, but to a very large extent, they have their limits, they have their limitations when it comes to what they can do in terms of technology. Great. So now, welcome to module 4, where we are going to be talking about youth empowerment. Now, this is a very powerful statement by someone in Valentine Koba of the University, Benin University of Abome Calavi. Now, he says that Africans must put its money into educating young people in technical fields. This is very important. And it is not just enough to simply import new technologies. More young people must be trained to develop new applications, which in the end will lead to creation of more jobs. Now, let us also look at the impact of COVID-19 um, you know, on the whole revolutionization, sorry, of technology, and also when it comes to empowering the youth. So the COVID-19 technology revolution and its impact of on young people in sub-Saharan Africa. So now, first of all, we need to know that while youths were disproportionately affected by the above mentioned effects of COVID-19, segments of youths, including women, younger youths, and youths living in lower income countries, remain most vulnerable, right? Now, youths and women are most likely to be less skilled in secure jobs and sectors most impacted by the pandemic. Now, these guys were the first to be hit by unemployment and wage losses. When COVID-19 came, first wave, second wave, and all that, a lot of young people lost their jobs. Those that were doing menial jobs, those that were doing jobs where they were not very, very key in the structure of the organization were let go, while some that their jobs require physical presence and they could not work remotely, there was no technology to enable them to work remotely, also lost their jobs. So youth and women programs also were suspended because there was restriction of gathering. So due to the pandemic, and of course, right? So, and also social distancing measures disrupted existing social practices and considerably altered the social fabric of youth, African youth communities. So a lot of things happened during that period. People were broke, people could not make money, people were at home, young people were idle, nothing was going on until the advent of the whole technological revolution. People started working from home and all that. So the response to this effect of COVID-19 was that the pandemic triggered youth into adopting new learning and economic models that shifted from the analog methods to digital methods, with mobile phones, of course, as the center of gravity, the main tool and the vehicle of making that happen. Then the pandemic also gave rise to a significant growth of youth-led community engagement and activism that blends online and also had like offline approaches. So the online activism in particular had also increased as a result of social distancing measures. So people found the expression, all right, online. And this development also accelerated the need for youth to acquire relevant skills. So young people started acquiring relevant skills that were needed at the time and also are still needed even now that the lockdown has been, lifted. So and also knowledge to fully participate in their societies and to be able to protect themselves from dis and misinformation, as well as other online risks such as cybersecurity, right? Then also digital technologies also allowed youth to respond to some immediate needs, such as gathering health information at the time, right? Because people were keeping track of what was going on in the COVID era. Um, Also keeping in touch with their support networks and also accessing mental health information and support, because a lot of persons went into depression, but technology helped us to find solutions to handling that. So internet-based technologies could be further leveraged by young entrepreneurs to also complement government, and a lot of that is happening right now in the sub-Saharan Africa. And even development actors support lines to promptly respond to these demands at scale and in a cost-effective way. So a lot happened during the COVID era, and a lot changed during the COVID era, and a lot, in fact, the outcome of the COVID era, although bad in terms of mortality rates and all that, but in terms of technology, there was a lot of improvement, a lot of improvement. Wait, so here are some key metrics when it comes to Africa as we know it. Now, the whole of Africa currently has like 43.2% access to the internet. And right now, the internet is a very major tool in terms of technological advancement, because it's a place where knowledge can be gotten. It's a place where knowledge can be shared. It's a place where there's always a flow of information, because the power of technology is information, right? A lot of things are happening. So right now, the whole of Africa has about 43.2% access to the internet. And out of that 43.2%, 70% of that demographic currently have just, we have 70% of them fully connected to the internet using their mobile devices, right? And this is different in, in Europe, and other well-developed economies. That's because there's a challenge in Africa that needs to be, to be handled. All right, so here's a quick World Bank report that was released in 2019. And I'm just going to go through this very fast. Since digital technologies offer Africa a chance to look at new pathways for rapid economic growth, innovation, job creation, and access to services. Yet, the current pace of growth of the digital economy in Africa leaves the continent at risk of falling behind a growing digital divide. In fact, some people call it a digital canyon because of the space, because of the gap, between Africa and a lot of, first and second world countries out there. So to unlock digital's potentials in Africa, I think I omitted that there, and manage the associated risk, an ambitious and coordinated digital transformation agenda was adopted by the African Union at its summit of heads of state in February 2019 under the AU's leadership. The World Bank Group is supporting this crucial effort through the Digital Economy Moonshot for Africa, which aims to ensure that by 2030, every individual, business, and government in the continent are digitally enabled and ready to thrive in the digital economy. Because digital transformation will require a concentrated effort in each country to build up the core foundations, because there are core foundations to these things, of the digital economy, including digital infrastructure, digital platforms, skills, digital payments, and environment support of digital business and entrepreneurship, and a simultaneous effort to be needed to ensure cybersecurity and an open digital market. So on the right there, we see some key takeaways in terms of the access, impact, and potential risks, right? We see key takeaways from this particular report on economic development, and also on entrepreneurship, payments, and skills. Now, let's just look at payments. Now, digital technology of cell phones has revolutionized financial services and provided like access to banking, insurance, and other financial services to a large number of people. And student respondents that were taken in a survey for this when this report was brought out highlighted the transformative nature of this technology, stating it's only beginning to realize its potential to spur economic development and involve populations previously excluded due to poverty and low education levels. A very good example I want to use there is Rwanda. Rwanda currently has what we call Momo, that's mobile money, that has been used to reach the unbanked. Practically everyone in Rwanda is banked right now as a result of this new technology. Great. So now here are some amazing empowerment initiatives that would speed up and foster, technology and innovation among, young people. So the first one there is workshops and trainings. This is very important, right? Innovators meetups, where innovators, people who are already in the industry, come together to share ideas, to discuss, and to, work out new and different models to solving, pertinent issues. Then also think tanks, where people come and they brainstorm, and discuss the issues that are facing the continent and also facing their individual communities and countries. Then also community programs, because whether we like it or not, there has to be a way to reach out to the grassroots. So community programs are a very good way, a very good initiative to handle that. Then also infrastructural development. This is majorly on the government to provide certain infrastructure that fosters the acceleration of the growth and the improvement of technology in their various countries and states. Then also science fairs, because at science fairs a lot of things are displayed. People are what's the word, motivated. People get to learn new things. Knowledge is shared just like that. So even research, there should be a constant push, for knowledge, knowledge transfer, knowledge sharing, and etc. Then another thing is government initiatives and policies, especially the government policies. This cannot be overemphasized, because when the government does not provide that enabling environment that allows these things to work, it's not going to work. Then another thing is to push and to encourage entrepreneurship, to push and to encourage entrepreneurship. All right. So at this point, module 5, I want us to look at some African pace setters in tech. Now, the first person here is Odunayo Eweniyi. Is from Nigeria. She's the co-founder and chief operations officer at Piggy Vest. Now, Odunayo is a Nigerian business executive and activist. She's the co-founder and chief operations at Piggy Vest and a co-founder of Feminist Coalition. In 2018, Eweniyi won the Future Awards Africa Prize in Technology. In 2019, she was on Forbes Africa on the 30 under 30 technology list. Then also on the right, we have Chinedu Echero, also from Nigeria, who is a serial entrepreneur. Chinedu is a successful serial entrepreneur and an entrepreneurial ecosystem builder. He was born in Nigeria and has founded several companies over the past 2 decades. And in 2005, he co-founded hopstop.com, a popular app that helped millions of users navigate public transportation worldwide. And this company was later acquired by Apple. These are people that are doing well in tech in Africa. Then also we have Sam Udotong, who is also from Nigeria. Sam is the CTO and co-founder at Fireflies. Now, this guy is a resilient guy. In fact, resilience is the word that can be used to describe him. He's a Nigerian born, he's a CTO and co-founder of Fireflies, a meeting transcription service. What the application does is to, what the application does is to translate outcomes of meetings, and, for documentation purposes. Excuse me. Okay. So then on the right, we have Jihan Abbas, who is from Kenya. She's the founder of Lami Insure Technologies. Now, Abbas founded Lami Insurance Technology in 2018 to democratize and digitize insurance products in Kenya and across Africa. And in addition, the startup created an API insurance service platform to digitize the entire process. In May 2021, the startup raised 1.8 million US dollars in seed capital. These guys are doing amazingly well. I call them pace setters because most of what they do are things that were the first, and they kind of like open the doors for other persons to have, should I say, a pathway to also to grow and to also explore technology. Then also we have myself right here, and Elvis Nosakhare from Nigeria. I'm an IT expert, a project manager, and also a digital entrepreneur. And Elvis is a director for Standard Life Organization, West Africa and East Africa. He's a computer scientist with experience in business analysis, project management, digital marketing, public speaking, people management, critical thinking. And Elvis is currently spearheading the rollout of a fully digital loan solution and micro institution right here in Kigali, Rwanda. And he has digitalized HR procedures and is currently the lead project manager for designing and developing the very first microinsurance software in Africa, which will be available by SaaS as SaaS by June 2024. Then right here on the right, we have Rediet Abebe from Ethiopia, who is also a computer scientist. She's an Ethiopian computer scientist and an assistant professor at the University of California, Berkeley. Abebe is also the co-founder of Blacks in AI and a community of Black researchers working in artificial intelligence and mechanism design for social good, an organization that brings researchers from different disciplines to solve various problems. Now, what are the ripple effects of innovation and technology on youth? The first thing is that it creates a multi-dimensional kind of thinking. It opens the minds of the young people to thinking at very, let me call it a very high frequency, right? So it also reduces social vices. It fosters green thinking because people are now thinking in terms of green energy, and reducing pollution, right? It also fosters enterprising solution convergence. Then also it increases the gradual closure of the digital divide. There's now more awareness when it comes to digital technology. And it also helps with global inclusion. Africa is currently being included in the global space. Then also It fosters socioeconomic development and also increases employment opportunities. Now, I also want to say at this point that empowerment is a collective responsibility. You and I have a role to play. Now, when I say this, I mean when it comes to knowledge sharing, when it comes to looking out also for those that are coming behind us, right? We have to, as we set the pace, we carry people along, and also we share knowledge where necessary. We collaborate as much as possible, right? Because this is a collective responsibility. Then, in summary, as drivers of innovation, youths need skills and capacity, right? And digital technology can help enhance education, reduce youth unemployment, and promote socioeconomic development. But for youth to benefit from these opportunities, all young people must be equipped with a range of technological skills and have affordable access to connectivity. So at this point, I want to say a big thank you for being a part of this session where we've talked about innovation and technology for youth empowerment. Once again, my name is Elvis Nosakhare, and it's a pleasure having you here at Africa Novate Virtual Conference. Cheers.